Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're doing well on a Saturday, and glad to be back with you on a Saturday afternoon. If you don't know me, my name's Ryan Coleman with Hometown Realty, along with my lovely co-host, April Coleman.
Good afternoon.
Hope everybody's doing well, and we were off for a week or two. I don't know if you noticed, but we were MIA.
Yes, we were.
So, hope you...
Somebody had a big birthday last week.
It was birthday. It was birthday, so we took a break. But as we know, we're talking about the real estate market here, and summer is upon us. The market is moving at a very fast pace. We've got a great show for you guys today, and we're going to go over several things, but I think first let's do a market update with April, get an idea of what's going on in the market trend, what we saw for May stats, sales, kind of active, pending. And we'll look at those comparison to last year, just kind of give you an idea. Everybody's got a take on it, but we'll give you some real numbers from the MLS and some sales data that will help you if you're thinking about buying or selling this 2018.
That's right. This is obviously from the Knoxville MLS. We don't pull it from anywhere else, so these are the statistics that they give us. So it looks like for sold listings in comparison for 2017 last year, there were 7,472 sold, and this year 7,708 sold.
So about a 3.2% difference, to the positive, so which is good.
Yes, some of them sold this year so far. And then for pending listings, last year at this time it was 8,590 pending, and this year is 9,278.
8%.
Yes.
So it's a big jump. So if it's priced right, showing right, if you got it exposed, you got the right agent out there marketing for you and giving the ultimate exposure, we're seeing an 8% increase. I know we've been extremely busy this week, and so good. That's good news. It's always good. Last 5 years or 6 years, we had cycles within the real estate market, and it was very positive to see this growth. We list something, we're getting multiple offers as we worked on something yesterday, and helping customers and clients. Now the catch, and kind of the catch-22, it's either a seller's market, buyer's market. I don't know if we're in either, but I know we're definitely at a faster pace as far as sellers having an opportunity where there's less inventory. Anytime there's less inventory, there's less homes for the buyers to choose.
Right, and so that goes into our active listings. We are still down for our active listings.
Okay.
Last year was 19,490, and that was this time last year. And then this year so far, 18,656. So that's a 4.3 decrease from last year. So more homes are being sold with less inventory.
Good.
Yes, and we've seen last year 11,780 new listings. This year 11,771 new listings. So down just a little bit.
Down 0.1 to be exact.
Right, and then of course I want to go ahead and go over some of our new listings, coming soons, pendings, and some solds just real quick. We've been behind a couple of weeks, so it's going to take a little bit, but then we'll get into our topic. Okay, so we want to congratulate our client on Tallaluna Avenue. She's pending. Andalusia Way should be closing soon. Wilkerson Road, they are pending. Sevierville Pike, they're going to be closing tomorrow. And then Northeast Valley Views pending. We have Sunset pending. Colby Station Lane pending. We have Riverport Way in Pigeon Forge, and we have Wayne Place that is also pending. Fredericksburg Boulevard we just put under contract, the lot out there, and Greatwood Way we just signed last night. Or I'm sorry, it was Windswept that we signed last night.
That's good. That was a good building lot. I know he was trying to sell that for some time, so that was exciting to see him go under contract.
Yes. And so then we'll go over some of our new listings that have hit the market. It is Archer Road out in 37918. And then we have our next one, it did a price drop. Let's talk about them. Hearthstone, 1200 Hearthstone did a price drop. And so look for that new price. And then we have Wiley Oakley did a cross drop as well out in Gatlinburg. And Whippoorwill cross drop, Water's Edge cross drop, Lakewood cross drop. Remember those if you're looking for places out there. And Brown Gap Road in 37918 is a new listing. Bear Paw Way in Sevierville 37876. And then our coming soon, so I told you this is a long list, bear with me.
Lord, you can wear them out, you can wear them out.
If you're looking for some homes in these areas, Park Grove Lane 37921. Sands Road is some land out in Sweetwater. We have John Sevier Drive in Sevierville coming soon. Whaley Lane 37920. We have Walden Avenue and Harriman coming soon. We have a coming soon out in Covered Bridge. And then another one in Loudon, and then Opal Hills Road has 4 cabins in Gatlinburg, and then another 6 cabins that we'll have in Sevierville, Pigeon Forge area.
So the short answer, guys, it's been busy.
It's been real busy.
Yep. So, what we're seeing as overall market and what you're picking up, this is the time for us of this season. Spring market was upon us. It's moved. Kids are out of school, and now the market is booming. We talked about one of our shows last time in April about 1,300 properties that hit the market, and during that push, the first week of May, and how important that we're seeing a lot of inventory. You've heard some of our price reductions and some of the reductions that some of our sellers are seeing in this market. It's so important to understand that where we were a couple months in this changing of the spring and summer markets, where you were positioned maybe 1 to 5 on selling and showings, maybe the feedback is not there, the access is not there, because there's a large push of inventory on the market. And when they come through on the beginning of the spring or summer markets, we start losing position. So it's important that we kind of reevaluate price and marketing. And so that's very, very important.
Right, because now you have some competition.
Let's get into the show, guys. We got a great show for you. We're talking about the real estate trends for 2018, what you need to know. We're halfway through the year. How do we phase this real estate market? How do we get through it? What is needed if I'm going to be purchasing and selling in 2018? And as we start the summer season, kids are going back to school soon. We're going to talk about that, how to secure a place with a fast-paced market, how do we actually get one under contract, and some competing offers, and just an overall idea of where we're at in the market, tips that may be helpful for you. So real estate trend number 1, we know that homes are selling faster than ever in the last 5 years. Back in February, Realtor.com said that properties were selling 8% quicker than last year. And we just went in, that's amazing that those stats are similar. And it had a median days on market about 83. In March of 2018, homes sold at least a week faster than last year.
Oh, wow.
And 36% of the housing market in the country is averaging about 63 days on the market.
Yes, I think our average might be a little bit lower down here, but yes, it is. So,
what does that mean for the sellers overall? How does that recap? I mean, what does that mean for you? I think, overall, we're seeing a healthy market here in East Tennessee, and selling is ideal now. So
yes.
We were talking with a customer the other day, and we were chatting on whether to sell or not, and they weren't sure. We're talking to them now about possibly selling. The job transfer fell through at the last moment. They were just so disappointed. But they said, Ryan, if we know we're going to sell in the next couple of years, we want to take advantage. We know the market's hot right now as a seller. We've got more opportunity now where there's less inventory. And so a lot of people are looking at that. If you're looking at moving in the next couple of years, even if that transfer fell through or maybe downsizing, but the market is the peak for your subdivision or area where you're at, I think there's a lot of opportunity there to at least look at the market and see if that's a consideration.
That's true.
What does this really mean? We talk about sellers, but more importantly, buyers that are looking for properties out there in the market. There's so many different things that we need to do to prepare, but I think, it's very competitive. First and foremost, we always talk on the show, you got to have a great agent to access a lot of these properties. We went over a lot of properties that are not on the market, and we network with a lot of agents in town and a lot of buyers that we work with exclusively. That old saying, if you're not first, you're last. And so knowing about them having immediate access is some things that we do here as well, and like to keep you up to date. A good place to go is obviously our website at ryancoleman.org or our Facebook page, like our page, and we always want to keep you up to date with anything new that we've got going on. So if it meets your criteria, what you're looking for, that we can get into that. On the other side of the break, we're going to talk about things that you need to know: financing, what's important, how to stand out, how to make your offer stand out more than just the money. Make it personal. We'll talk about letters and different things like that. What else, April?
Yeah, we're just going to be talking about how the negotiating room is for the sellers, since it is a seller market, and then how the difference between how the sellers can benefit versus the buyers.
So many things, and then things regarding that. Stay with us on the other side of the break, and we'll pick it up from there.
Fantastic.
Stay tuned.
Is it time for a new place? Ryan Coleman with Hometown Realty has the experience to sell your home quickly and help you find the right home for you. And if he can't sell it right away, he will buy it himself. Life changes, and sometimes your home needs do too. Buying or selling, turn to someone you know you can trust. Ryan Coleman at Hometown Realty.
Thank you guys for staying tuned. You're listening to Real Estate with Ryan. I'm here with April, and we were chatting on the other side of the break about really what does it mean for a buyer? What do you do in this competitive marketplace, and how will it help you find and purchase your new home? So I think most importantly, we're going to talk about the money. We briefly talked about that, but having 20% down, making sure you're pre-approved on the front end.
Always the most important thing.
Make sure you know where you're at and where you need to be in the marketplace to get that done. I think more importantly, in the house hunting process, if you're married, make sure that you know. If you're like my wife, we'll just pick out what she wants me to get. I just do what I'm told, guys. You understand that? But if you're married, make a list. Make a separate list of what you want, what's on the must list, and what is on the necessity. What is, school zones, things like that are a must.
So that you can target your area.
It's so important. And then make sure that you got an agent that's in tune with what you're looking for, and they can walk you through that process and make it easier.
Yeah. Another way you can stand out when you're writing an offer is write a letter and just kind of tell them your personal story and why you chose their home. I know we had
here was our lovely couple that we just had one
that they bought on Wayside, and they wrote a really sweet letter and added some pictures and stuff. And
they were sweethearts, and what it does is just really personalizes your situation. Especially if we're getting multiple offers. Sellers want to know who's buying the home. I know a lot of clients that we work with routinely say, well, I want somebody to love our house as much as we do. And that means a lot.
Right.
It means a lot more than just a bank letter. And so we're really getting more personal, and that makes a big difference in the marketplace. Take the extra few minutes. Email or a letter stands out.
It does. It really does. Real estate trend number 2. Home prices are higher than last year. So that's another trend.
So the median price, and I think we talked about that briefly, but we'll get into that. So back in 17, 293, 984. Okay. Now May 18, 329, 382. So a 12% increase.
Oh wow, interesting. So what does that mean for sellers?
What does it mean for sellers? We're getting more money.
That's right.
What does it mean for buyers? Cost a little bit more.
Cost a little bit more.
So that's why that pre-approval and understanding, and I think that's what we talk about, understanding that, knowing that we got to stay to a budget.
Right, how much can you afford?
Don't go window shopping and have that new construction home where it has all the bells and whistles and everything in the home, and then your house poor.
Right.
So we still got to live within the means. Got to understand, I think one of the most important things that we counsel clients on is understanding what if that job transfers happens, are you able to maintain that property, being said, with one income, or if you're counting on 2 incomes.
Right.
So looking at a worst case scenario, maybe if there's a period of opportunity there, that's an opportunity as well. So, and then there's always good between a 15-year and a 30. We talk about that. If you can afford 15, you're going to save a ton of money on interest if you can do it.
Yes. So maybe you want to get a smaller house and do a 15-year.
But if you don't do a 15, there's somewhere in between. You can do a 20, a 25.
That's true.
And keep in mind, guys, you can always pay that extra payment a year to principal. It's supposed to take a 30 to a 17.
Wow. That's pretty great. Keep saving. If you can't afford it now, you can just keep saving your money. So that you'll have a better down payment in the future, and then sacrifice some of the wants that we just talked about. And then expand your search.
I think expanding your search is key. Just left a client's house today, and with schools and public schools and private schools here in East Tennessee and Knoxville, surrounding areas, we've got a lot of options.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of great public schools, a lot of private schools, a lot of Christian schools. And what's great about that is most sellers are really not looking at the marketplace and understanding that if I'm looking in West Knoxville, I may consider maybe a 10 or 15 mile commute.
Right.
Where normally you'd look in just kind of the same zip code or price
Mm-hmm.
ranges. And the reason that is homeschooling is in and all those different options. So public schools, although they're very strong in certain areas, there's some other factors with private schools and public schooling and of course homeschooling,
Yes.
as your family does. And so those are something to think about, so that there's a lot more to competing with, and know that the buyers have a lot more selection now. So, anytime they have more selections, that always affects pricing, and keep that in mind.
That is true.
So who's the hottest market out there in the country right now?
Drum roll.
Yeah, I mean, you probably know what that would be, right?
California.
California. So we're going to go with some of the hottest markets out there across the country. And
San Francisco's number one.
San Francisco's on the lead. Did you know they're the highest rent in the country?
I bet
One
they are.
in the world, actually.
They're
So-
the hottest, but they're the highest. Isn't that interesting?
A lot of tech firms, a lot going on out there.
Mhm.
So we got Midland, Texas is number 2. I can't even pronounce that one in California. How about
Nope.
you?
Number
Ba-
3, who
Bali.
knows?
San Jose, number 4. Sacramento in California, number 5. Denver, Colorado, number 6. Santa Rosa, California. We're seeing a lot of trends in California.
California.
Colorado Springs, Colorado coming in number 8. San Diego, beautiful San Diego, California. And then Stockton, California. These are the hottest markets in the country right now,
Wow.
and the most expensive.
That's interesting.
So if you're buying in those areas, you better have some money saved in those price ranges. We're seeing numbers that we're seeing 8%. Those numbers are astronomical.
Mm.
So what to think about if you're not buying a home this year, but you think about maybe purchasing in the next couple of years?
Mhm.
What can we expect? What are you supposed to see? I think probably until 2020, nobody really knows the economy specifically,
Right.
but I think you could probably see an interest appreciation as far as equity, about 2 to 6% a year until probably 2020.
Yeah, so you can monitor how much it means.
Give credit to the Housing Mortgage Market Review, and they're saying that the prices will continue to rise for the next couple of years, 2 to 6%. So if you sell your house before 220, it's likely that you still will make a potential profit,
Right.
but don't rely on market trends.
Mm.
Monitor kind of how much your home is worth. We always do a free market evaluation. The online things are great, but coming out to your property, really looking at the kind of the aspect of how the buyer would look at it is most key, and give you more accurate.
Yes. And is that market, is the real estate market going to crash again?
Are we going to crash and burn? Hopefully
Yeah,
not.
that's everybody's fear, I think.
We all felt that in 2007, 2008, 2010 in that market.
And now it's
So-
just so hot right now. What is it going to do?
Well, with anything, if it goes up,
It's come down.
it could come down to some degree. So keep that in mind. I mean, while the market's good, while the market's there, understand these are things where we're talking about. Keep in mind on your budget
Mhm.
and understanding, that live within your means. And sometimes certain areas may cause for a adjustment
Right.
as far as pricing and payments, and maybe that's why we need to structure a different mortgage that makes sense.
Yes.
But believe it or not, we talked about number 3, despite your neighborhood, buyers are interested.
Right. If you don't think that you have a great neighborhood, then you might want to think again.
You might be overwhelmed. There was somebody I was talking to, we were networking in Florida, and they said, Ryan, there's people knocking at my door, the house is not even on the market. Just knocking on the door. I said, well, you have it for sale sign? She said, no, they're just knocking on the door to see if we're going to sell.
People are doing that because they have buyers that are looking for a specific house, basement, whatever, and they are knocking on doors to say, hey, I want to sell your house because I have a buyer.
Now we know, in summarize on the show, I think always with the market, we try to keep you up to date here in the real estate market and know exactly, it's a big process. School, kids, life, busy. We try to make it easy for you.
Yes.
I think that's probably the biggest thing, that if you're doing this every day, you need somebody that you can trust, somebody that you can count on. April and I, we work very hard to try to do that for you guys. And understand for us, we're big about it. It's not a sale. it's not just a number, it's your family. We want to treat you like family, and it's important. It's one of the biggest moves. We build our business really by relationship. We do a lot of advertising. You see us on TV, you may see us on radio, but it's more than that, and those are just means that we use to market and connect in the world. But we love an opportunity to work with you. We know every situation's different. That's why we do this show every week. We want to bring it to you, kind of our live perspective. In the marketplace, it's tricky. I was meeting with a client today, and they don't know who to choose. There's a lot of realtors. I laughed and I said, I bet you, there's 5,000 agents in the marketplace, and I bet you half of them probably called you. She was like, Ryan, you're right. And so we get it, and that's why we're here on one of the best stations in town for talk radio and news talk. And I'm sure you trust this, and we trust hopefully what we bring to you, and try to give you some value every week. Every value week that we come to. So keep that in mind. It was good to be back with you.
I know. Before we wrap up, I just want to say a real quick congrats.
Sure.
Giovanni Trail in Von Noor, Trails End, Gates Lane, Covemont Lane, Welch Avenue, Chickamauga, Silvergrass, and our buyers on Treetop. All congratulations to them for selling and buying.
We appreciate you staying with us every Saturday, 5 o'clock here on News Talk 98.7. You can catch us here. If you need us at the office, it's 693-SOLD. That's 693-SOLD. You can visit me online at ryancoleman.org. Till next week, again, you have a great weekend, and we'll hope to see you here on News Talk. Well, it's back in the saddle, guys. Like anything, if you don't do it, you get a little rusty. But thank you for following us on social media. April and I were having some technical difficulties on the streaming, so that couldn't come through. Thank you for following us. Hope you enjoy those market trends with what's going on in the marketplace. Overall, some of you, if you're tuning in late, market's moving at a fast pace. We're about 8% more pending. So if it's hitting the market, it should be moving. If it's not, we got to look at, if you're listed with another agent, we got to look at maybe changing that marketing strategy. If you're on the market now and we're not getting the feedback that we need to look at that price and revive the marketing. And so we need to talk about some of those things that we're doing. We've got some holidays coming up in the summer. We know July is a busy month for people, so keep that in mind. We've got a good show next week. I'm not sure exactly what we're fine-tuning and working on that, so stay tuned. Make sure if you guys are out there on Facebook or social media, do us a favor. Like our page and sponsor our page. We've got a lot of new listings and some information that may be valuable for you coming up in the marketplace if you're thinking about moving in 18. Or maybe you got that friend or family member or coworker that's thinking about selling and they need some help or some expert advice. We're going to be launching a lot of activity here this summer that may be very helpful for you. As always, April and I thank you for tuning in, and we hope to see you next week. And don't forget us, we're this Saturday live back in the studio on Talk Radio, 92.3 FM, AM 760. We hope to see you there. You have a great weekend.
So we have